If you feel exhausted, but wired, overwhelmed by small things, gaining weight around your middle, and struggling to sleep, even when your body is begging for rest, there's a hormone quietly driving the chaos. Not estrogen, not progesterone, it's cortisol. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone, and in midlife, it often becomes the loudest voice in the room. Today, I'm going to explain what cortisol actually does in a woman's body, why it becomes dysregulated in midlife, and how that imbalance can ripple through your hormones, energy, and nervous system. Hi, welcome to the Menopause Map Minute. I'm Cynthia Penner, menopause health coach and author of the Menopause Map book series. Today is a medical minute where we break down your hormones, your symptoms, and the science behind what you're feeling in a way that finally makes sense. Let's make this simple and empowering. Cortisol, your survival hormone. Cortisol is produced by the adrenal glands and plays a critical role in survival. Its job is to mobilize energy, regulate blood sugar, control inflammation, and keep you alert in the face of stress. In a healthy rhythm, cortisol rises in the morning to wake you up and gradually declines throughout the day, reaches its lowest point at night so you can sleep. Cortisol itself isn't the problem. The problem begins when stress becomes constant and cortisol never gets the message that it's safe to stand down. Think of cortisol like a smoke alarm. It's essential in a real emergency, but when it keeps going off day after day, your nervous system never fully relaxes, and neither do your hormones. Time for a science snapshot. Cortisol follows a daily pattern known as diurnal rhythm, controlled by the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Chronic stress flattens this rhythm, leading to consistently high cortisol or repeated spikes and crashes throughout the day. This is a biological adaptation to stress, not a failure of the adrenal glands. So, how does cortisol imbalance feel in midlife? When cortisol becomes dysregulated, women often describe a very specific experience. You may notice feeling tired but unable to relax, waking between 2 to 4 a.m. every night, anxiety or irritability without a clear trigger, cravings for sugar or caffeine, belly weight that feels resistant to change, and brain fog with reduced stress tolerance. This is not a willpower issue, and it's not because your body is aging badly. Cortisol directly influences blood sugar, insulin, thyroid conversion, and sleep architecture. When cortisol is out of rhythm, everything else struggles to stay in sync. Imagine cortisol as the conductor of your hormonal orchestra. When the timing is off, the music doesn't stop, but it becomes chaotic and exhausting to listen to. So, science, time for another science snapshot. Chronically elevated cortisol increases abdominal fat storage by stimulating visceral fat receptors. It also interferes with thyroid hormone conversion and suppresses progesterone production. This creates a cascade of fatigue, anxiety, sleep disruption, and amplified menopausal symptoms. So, what is the link with cortisol, stress, and adrenal load? In midlife, cortisol becomes more influential because estrogen and progesterone decline. Progesterone normally helps calm the nervous system. When it drops, cortisol often rises to compensate. At the same time, many women are carrying decades of emotional load, caregiving stress, underfueling, overexercising, and poor sleep. The adrenal glands step in to help, but they were never designed to run the show long term. Think of your adrenals like a backup generator. They work beautifully in short bursts, but when they're forced to power the whole system day after day, output becomes inconsistent and energy feels unreliable. This is why cortisol imbalance is rarely just about stress. It's about safety, rhythm, and recovery. So here are your supportive stepping stones. They're gentle, non-prescriptive ways to support cortisol balance in midlife. Protein in the morning to stabilize blood sugar. Caffeine after food, not on an empty stomach, and definitely not afternoon. Strength training instead of excessive cardio. Consistent sleep and meal timing. Intentional rest and nervous system downshifts. Time outdoors to support circadian rhythm. These steps don't suppress cortisol. They teach your body when it's safe to relax. So this week, notice when your body feels most stressed, morning, afternoon, or nighttime. Instead of pushing through, ask, what would help my nervous system feel supported right now? If this episode helped you feel seen and supported, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a new Menopause Map Minute. Because understanding yourself inside and out is how you flourish through menopause.